Now to presidential politics in Kenya. Opposition leader Raila Odinga on Tuesday suspended its demonstrations against the Electoral Commission amid claims of police brutality on protesters across the country. Odinga says his party will advise their supporters on the way forward after the Heroes' Day celebrations Friday. Also on Tuesday, Kenya's Deputy President William Ruto told a press conference that there would be no problem if the election board agrees to meet a raft of demands made by the opposition ahead of a repeat poll on October 26.
Our position is that IEBC is an independent institution. They make their decisions independently of all the other arms of government and all the other competitors. But if they choose to have a discussion with our competitors, with a view of firing this member of staff or firing that member of staff or changing this supplier or changing another supplier, we told them clearly, we will not raise any issues. That is their business. If they so agree, they find a different printer, they find a different supplier of technology, as long as the elections are there, we will participate.
Now Odinga has withdrawn from the rerun presidential poll. Kenya's deputy president, now Kenya's election board says it will proceed with the vote, but Odinga's withdrawal has raised concerns of a political crisis. Now for more on Kenya's political crisis, I'm joined live via Skype from Nairobi by Africa 54's managing editor, Vincent Makori. Vincent, what is the mood like in Nairobi?
Well, the country has been in the grip of uncertainty now for the last few weeks, especially since Mr. Raila Odinga withdrew, excuse me, and this is because nobody knows for sure whether an election will take place on the 26th of October. And we know that although the IEBC continues with all the preparations for the vote on the 26th of October, the opposition, the main opposition, NASA led by Raila Odinga, has said it will ensure that no election takes place, at least nationwide, because the Constitution requires that for that election to be valid, for a president to be duly elected, the election has to happen countrywide. So we have witnessed protests in especially Mr. Raila Odinga's strongholds. These protests were called a few weeks ago to be sustained throughout the period until they make sure that the election is almost impossible to conduct. Now, we've seen so much pain and anguish come out of those protests. People have died up to this point, and we know that in a number of cases, most of those people, in fact, were shot by police at close range. Now, Mr. Odinga has suspended the protests for now until Friday. Of course, he's keeping his people still in a state of waiting for further instructions, because the commitment he has made is that there's no way an election can happen on the 26th of October in a free and fair kind of environment.
So this was just a few hours ago when he suspended these demonstrations, Vincent, but do we even know what his move is likely to be in the next couple of days?
Nobody really knows, because we know that Mr. Raila Odinga always has like a plan A, plan B, plan C. But some of the analysts are also feeling like maybe Mr. Odinga has, in some respect, been in a way caught caught in a situation where he's taking a risk that could jeopardize his legacy. The call to people for mass action, when he has actually decided to quit the process himself, has made many wonder, what is his interest? Why does he want to disrupt the elections if he's not going to be participating? The bigger plan that we've been speculating, people have been speculating, is that he would want to deny Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta votes from areas where he has a lot of support, and therefore make sure that under the Constitution, Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta's votes will only come from certain parts of the country, and therefore will not fulfill the constitutional requirement, which will render his presidency illegitimate, and therefore probably lead them back to the Supreme Court.
A very unusual political climate for Kenyans there. Vincent, will catch up with you tomorrow. Vincent, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Africa 54's managing editor Vincent Makori reporting live via Skype from Nairobi.